Michelle Duggar makes a rare appearance at Conservative Young Women's Summit. Michelle Duggar, the matriarch of the Duggar family, made a rare public appearance recently at the Conservative Young Women's Leadership Summit, drawing notable attention from fans and critics alike. Known primarily for her role on the former TLC series 19 Kids and Counting, Michelle has maintained a relatively private life since the show's cancellation. Her appearance at the summit marks a significant moment, both in terms of her personal visibility and the ongoing interest in the Duggar family within conservative and Christian circles. The summit, hosted by Turning Point USA, is designed to equip and inspire young conservative women with leadership tools, spiritual encouragement, and policy-driven education. Held annually, the event features a range of speakers from political, religious, and media backgrounds. Michelle's presence, though not a headlining speaker, did not go unnoticed, especially given her recent low profile in public life. Michelle Duggar has long been associated with traditional conservative values, a reputation built during her years on reality television. The Duggar family's lifestyle has always emphasized modesty, courtship over dating, strict religious discipline, and homeschooling. While the public image of the Duggars has evolved over time, particularly due to controversies involving other family members, Michelle's own role has often been viewed as the steady, guiding force behind the family's message. At the summit, Michelle was seen interacting warmly with several attendees, posing for photos, and attending various panels and breakout sessions. Though she did not give a formal keynote speech, her informal interactions suggested a continued investment in the next generation of conservative Christian women. Her presence appeared to resonate deeply with a certain demographic within the summit, a mix of young women raised with similar values and older supporters familiar with the Duggar family from their television days. Many attendees expressed excitement and reverence upon seeing her, some referencing her as an influential figure in their upbringing or faith journey. For young women navigating modern political and cultural landscapes from a conservative perspective, Michelle Duggar represents a consistent and recognizable example of homemaking, motherhood, and religious commitment. The authenticity of her lifestyle, while not without controversy, seems to have made a lasting impression on many. Michelle's rare public outing also comes at a time when the Duggar family is still under heavy public scrutiny due to the ongoing fallout from legal issues involving her eldest son, Josh Duggar. His conviction and sentencing for child pornography offenses dealt a serious blow to the family's public reputation and prompted widespread discussions about the family's lifestyle and values. Since that time, Michelle and her husband Jim Bob have largely retreated from the spotlight, choosing not to speak publicly about the case beyond a few brief statements. Despite this, the broader conservative Christian community continues to show pockets of support for the Duggars, and Michelle's appearance at the summit may suggest she still sees value in influencing the conversation, even quietly. Her presence was not heavily promoted in advance by the summit's organizers, which may have been an intentional move to keep the event focused on younger leaders and avoid the risk of controversy overshadowing its goals. Nevertheless, Michelle's appearance has reignited conversations about her legacy, her influence, and the role of the Duggar family in shaping conservative discourse around womanhood, family, and religious values. For some, her involvement with the summit reaffirms her standing as a role model for biblical womanhood, a concept emphasizing submission to one's husband, motherhood as a divine calling, and homemaking as a form of ministry. Others, however, remain critical, arguing that Michelle Duggar's version of womanhood is restrictive and outdated. Detractors point to the strict rules and lifestyle choices enforced within the Duggar household, suggesting they reflect a fundamentalist ideology rather than a universally applicable model of family and faith. Online forums and social media channels were quick to pick up on her summit appearance, with opinions divided along predictable ideological lines. Yet Michelle has never appeared particularly interested in engaging with critics. Throughout her time in the public eye, she has maintained a calm, soft-spoken, and unwaveringly optimistic demeanor, even during the most difficult moments for the Duggar family, including their show's cancellation and various media exposés. Michelle has rarely strayed from her core messaging: faith in God, devotion to family, and a belief in conservative Christian principles. While other Duggar family members have taken different paths, Duggar Vuolo, for example, has publicly distanced herself from the teachings of the Institute in Basic Life Principles, the organization that shaped the Duggar family's beliefs. Michelle has remained loyal to the same framework that once brought her and her family national fame. This consistency, whether seen as strength or rigidity, continues to define her public persona. Attendees at the summit reported that Michelle spoke candidly in smaller group conversations, sharing her thoughts on raising children in faith, navigating a media-saturated culture, and the importance of standing firm in one's beliefs. Some young women reportedly asked her about how to remain steadfast in their values while pursuing careers or higher education, topics of increasing relevance for conservative women looking to balance modern life with traditional principles. Michelle's advice reportedly centered on prioritizing spiritual life, seeking God's will above personal ambition, and ensuring that one's actions align with biblical teachings. These sentiments align with her past messaging and suggest that, while her public profile may have diminished, her core convictions remain unchanged. Although she is no longer a television star in the traditional sense, Michelle Duggar's influence persists in certain spaces. Books, online content, and speaking engagements, however rare, continue to showcase her as a representative of a particular worldview. Her appearance at the Conservative Young Women's Leadership Summit may not herald a return to regular public speaking, but it does indicate that she is not fully retreating from public life either. It is also worth noting that Michelle's involvement in the event was primarily personal rather than promotional. She did not use the platform to market a new book, show, or political campaign. Instead, her quiet presence seemed aimed at encouraging young women who looked to her as a source of strength and guidance in uncertain times. Whether or not one agrees with her ideology, her sincerity and consistency have built a kind of trust within her niche audience. Some analysts speculate that her appearance could also be a test of public sentiment. Given the intense criticism the Duggar name has attracted in recent years, any return to public life comes with risk. However, small and controlled appearances like this summit allow Michelle to reconnect with loyal supporters without exposing herself to widespread media scrutiny. The summit concluded with several attendees sharing their experiences on social media, many expressing gratitude for the wisdom and kindness Michelle offered. For those unfamiliar with the controversies surrounding the Duggar family, her presence may have simply felt like meeting a childhood icon or a beloved figure from their youth. For others more aware of the broader context, her participation raised complex questions about forgiveness, accountability, and the lasting impact of reality television fame. In the end, Michelle Duggar's appearance at the Conservative Young Women's Leadership Summit served as a reminder that she remains a figure of interest, both admired and criticized, in American culture. Her message, unchanged from when she first appeared on screen over a decade ago, continues to resonate with a segment of young conservative women navigating a world that often feels at odds with their values. Whether this rare outing marks a beginning of more public appearances or remains an isolated event remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that Michelle Duggar's influence has not disappeared entirely. In a room filled with ambitious, values-driven young women, she found a space where her voice, gentle but firm, still carries weight. As the Duggar family continues to evolve, fracture, and redefine itself in the public eye, Michelle's appearance suggests that at least one member of the family still believes in the mission that originally brought them fame, living a life of faith, purpose, and unwavering commitment to traditional values. How that mission is received in a modern, increasingly divided cultural landscape remains an open question, but for now, Michelle Duggar remains an enduring symbol of a very specific kind of American womanhood. Jed Duggar and wife Katie swear their son's name wasn't inspired by Chick-fil-A. Jedidiah Jed Duggar and his wife Katie Nakatsa Duggar recently addressed an unexpected curiosity among fans and critics alike: the origin of their son's name. After announcing the name of their second child, a surprising rumor began circulating, one that suggested their son's name may have been inspired by the popular fast food chain Chick-fil-A. The couple, however, is putting those rumors to rest, stating plainly that the decision had nothing to do with the restaurant, despite the coincidental overlap that some followers are pointing out. Jed and Katie, who married in April 2021 and are quickly building a growing family, are no strangers to public scrutiny. As members of the high-profile Duggar family, made famous through TLC's 19 Kids and Counting and its spin-off Counting on Every Choice They Make, from career paths to child-rearing practices, is subject to speculation from a wide audience, and naming their child is no exception. The couple's announcement that they had welcomed a baby boy named Truett caught the attention of followers who noted a link to Chick-fil-A's founder, S. Truett Cathy. Some online discussions quickly picked up on the shared name, prompting lighthearted jokes and even some criticism about whether the choice was deliberate. But Jed and Katie were quick to shut down any such rumors, insisting that the name was chosen for its deeper personal and spiritual meaning, not because of a fast food connection. According to the Duggars, the name Truett has roots in integrity, strength, and truth, values they hold dear. In various interviews and public statements, the couple has emphasized that they sought a name that reflected their faith and character-based upbringing. For them, Truett wasn't a branding decision or a nod to a corporation, but rather a name that aligns with their Christian values. Katie explained that they were drawn to the name because it felt strong and honorable. She said they had prayerfully considered several names before settling on Truett, and the choice came long before any association with the fast food chain crossed their minds. Jed echoed the sentiment, stating that the values represented by the name were far more important than any public assumptions about its origin. This isn't the first time a member of the Duggar family has faced speculation over something as seemingly simple as a baby name. The Duggar children, many of whom have started families of their own, often receive attention for the names they choose for their offspring. Fans analyze everything from biblical references to family traditions, sometimes drawing conclusions that surprise the parents themselves. In this case, the Chick-fil-A theory gained traction due to the prominence of S. Truett Cathy in Christian business circles and among conservative communities. Cathy was known for his strong Christian values, philanthropy, and for running a company that observes a Sunday closure policy in line with his faith. For fans familiar with the Duggars' religious background, the association wasn't a stretch. Nevertheless, the Duggars maintain that while they respect the legacy of figures like Cathy, their baby name choice was not an intentional homage. The couple's clarification seems aimed at heading off any narratives that might paint them as aligning their personal life choices with corporate branding or fandom. They've made it clear that they want to be known for building their family on their own terms, not those dictated by external associations or assumptions. It's also worth noting that Truett has gained some popularity as a baby name in recent years, outside of any Duggar context. It's increasingly chosen by parents looking for unique but meaningful names, often with Christian overtones. The name isn't common, but neither is it unheard of, and it's frequently praised for its solid and dignified sound. Jed and Katie have been candid about their experiences as young parents. Since marrying in 2021, they have embraced the role of raising children with openness. Their social media presence, while far more modest than some of their siblings, offers glimpses into their family life, showing a mix of faith, tradition, and modern-day parenting. While they aren't as active in the public eye as some other Duggar siblings, they remain closely watched by fans of the Duggar franchise. The couple also faced some heat after choosing what some have described as non-traditional names, particularly by Duggar standards. While older Duggars often opted for names with overt biblical roots, Jed and Katie have taken a slightly more contemporary route, still informed by faith, but not necessarily tied to scripture in a literal way. This approach has both been praised for its individuality and critiqued by those who expect more consistency with the Duggar family legacy. As of now, the couple has not indicated any plans to respond further to the rumors. Their statement about the name choice appears to be their final word on the matter, aiming to move forward and focus on their growing family. Beyond the name discussion, Jed and Katie's parenting journey continues to attract attention. With 2 children under the age of 3, the pair has embraced a fast pace, much like many of Jed's siblings. They've spoken publicly about the joys and challenges of parenting young children, including sleepless nights, milestones, and spiritual teaching. While the couple has not pursued reality TV careers like others in the family, they remain connected to the Duggar universe, often appearing in extended family posts or shared holiday photos. The controversy around the name Truett may seem minor in the grand scheme, but it underscores a broader theme that follows many Duggar-related discussions: the fine line between public curiosity and personal decision-making. Every detail, even something as seemingly innocuous as a name, can become a talking point when linked to a family that has spent years in the public eye. For their part, Jed and Katie appear committed to living a life rooted in their beliefs and their own convictions, rather than the expectations of fans or critics. They've asked for respect and privacy, while also understanding that public attention is part of life as a Duggar. As their children grow, it remains to be seen how the couple will navigate the balance between visibility and privacy. For now, they seem content with offering small updates, sharing glimpses of family milestones, and correcting misconceptions when necessary, such as with the recent name rumor. In many ways, the moment is a reflection of how the next generation of Duggars may handle public life differently. While their parents built a platform on television and public ministry, younger Duggars like Jed and Katie are choosing more curated approaches, using social media selectively, offering personal updates on their own terms, and pushing back when narratives veer into fiction. Ultimately, the couple hopes that their son will grow into the values behind his name: truth, strength, and integrity, rather than the chatter surrounding it. And while the fast food theory may linger in some corners of the internet, it seems clear from their direct response that they have their own, private reasons for naming their child Truett, reasons that have nothing to do with a chicken sandwich. In conclusion, Jed and Katie Duggar's clarification about their son's name reflects a broader effort to set the record straight and reclaim control over their narrative. The naming decision, they maintain, was rooted in faith and intentionality, not fandom or branding. Despite persistent rumors, the couple stands firm in their explanation, focusing on the meaningful values behind the name rather than the associations it has attracted. As the next generation of Duggars takes shape, moments like these reveal both the pressures they face and the personal convictions they bring to parenting in the spotlight. The Duggar family has long been at the center of public fascination, media scrutiny, and cultural debate. From the early days of their TLC reality shows 19 Kids and Counting, on to their more recent involvement in the docuseries Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets, their story continues to evolve, often in unpredictable ways. Now, as updates begin to surface about Season 2 of Shiny Happy People, questions are emerging once again. Is the Duggar family preparing for a comeback? What can audiences expect in the next chapter of the controversial docuseries? Here's everything known so far about Shiny Happy People Season 2 and how it connects to the current state of the Duggar family. Amazon Prime Video's Shiny Happy People Duggar Family Secrets launched in June 2023 and instantly became a hot topic online. The docuseries provided a deep dive into the Duggar family's history, the teachings of the Institute in basic life principles, and the larger culture of control, secrecy, and spiritual abuse allegedly prevalent within certain conservative Christian circles. Season 1 featured interviews with Jill Duggar-Dillard and her husband Derek Dillard, among others, who offered personal accounts and experiences from their time within the Duggar household and the IBLP movement. The docuseries also included commentary from former IBLP followers, cult experts, and journalists to present a comprehensive overview of how the Duggar story fit into a broader ideological landscape. The first season drew significant viewership and sparked renewed discussions about religious fundamentalism, reality TV ethics, and the protection of children in public-facing families. It was both praised and criticized for its approach. Some viewers found it a necessary reckoning, while others considered it biased or one-sided. Regardless, it served as a landmark moment in the Duggar family's narrative. For many, it marked the definitive end of the era where the family could be seen as simply quirky or wholesome. With serious allegations, court cases, and fractured relationships coming to the fore, Shiny Happy People offered a reframing of a once idolized family unit. As of mid-2025, it's now confirmed that Shiny Happy People will return for a second season. Prime Video has greenlit the continuation, though an official release date has not yet been announced. According to early reports from entertainment insiders, Season 2 will expand its focus beyond the Duggar family alone, while still weaving in updates about key family members and their current lives. Producers have indicated that Season 2 will continue to explore the long-term consequences of life within high-control religious environments. There will be new interviews, never-before-seen footage, and follow-ups with several of the figures who featured in the first season. While names have not been publicly confirmed, speculation is growing about whether additional Duggar family members will participate or be discussed in greater depth. Since the airing of Season 1, the Duggar family has maintained a low public profile. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar have remained largely silent, offering no official statements on the docuseries. Most of their children, particularly those still living in Arkansas or maintaining conservative lifestyles, have also avoided public commentary. However, some family members have continued to distance themselves from the family's public image. Jill Duggar and Derek Dillard released their memoir Counting the Cost in 2023, detailing their struggles with Duggar family dynamics and their journey away from the family brand. Jinger Duggar-Vuolo has also spoken publicly about disentangling herself from IBLP teachings, though she has not taken as overt a stance as Jill. With these divergent paths becoming more visible, fans and followers of the family have wondered if Season 2 of Shiny Happy People will be used by certain Duggar children to tell more of their own stories, or if it will focus primarily on external analysis. Amid the renewed interest, rumors have surfaced about a possible return of some Duggar family members to television, though not necessarily in the same format as before. Sources close to media production circles have hinted that networks and streaming platforms are considering various pitches involving Duggar-adjacent personalities. Some fans believe that a docuseries or reality-based show following Jill, Jinger, or even Amy Duggar King could emerge, showcasing their lives post-Duggar fame. Others are skeptical, suggesting that the family name has become too polarizing for mainstream entertainment partnerships. As of now, there is no official confirmation that any Duggar will return to television independently. However, the visibility brought on by Shiny Happy People Season 1 and the expected increase in attention from Season 2 may alter that landscape quickly. One of the most anticipated aspects of Shiny Happy People Season 2 is whether other Duggar siblings will break their silence. While Jill has already been vocal and Jinger has given select interviews, many of the siblings including Jessa, Jana, Joy Anna, and the older Duggar sons have stayed quiet. Observers have noted subtle shifts. Social media activity, choice of churches, and parenting styles among some of the Duggar children suggest growing distance from the family's original IBLP framework. However, few have chosen to make those shifts explicit. Season 2 may provide the space for more candid revelations. Even if certain family members do not participate directly, third-party sources and former insiders may continue to shed light on their experiences and current views. Another major element expected in Season 2 is a deeper exploration of the IBLP, its leadership, and its current influence. Season 1 established the foundational connections between the Duggar family and IBLP teachings under Bill Gothard. In Season 2, the docuseries may delve into the organization's legacy, its evolving strategies, and how former members have coped with leaving or critiquing it. Producers have reportedly conducted interviews with individuals who left the IBLP in the last decade, providing new perspectives on how the movement has changed or failed to change since facing widespread criticism. Following the release of Season 1, some conservative commentators and Duggar supporters accused Shiny Happy People of misrepresentation. They claimed the series presented a hostile interpretation of Christian values and unfairly generalized the behaviors of fringe elements. It's possible that Season 2 will address this backlash directly, possibly including commentary from critics of the series to provide more balance or to respond to accusations of bias. The creators may also use the opportunity to clarify their goals, not to attack faith, but to examine the mechanisms of control and trauma within specific communities. How this balance is struck will likely shape public reception of the new season. While full details are still emerging, the overarching themes of Season 2 are expected to include post-trauma identity building, how former members of high-control groups reconstruct their lives, parent-child relationships in recovery, how family bonds are rebuilt or broken in the aftermath of ideological shifts, legal and ethical accountability, updates on court cases, investigations, or ongoing legal matters involving figures from Season 1, religious reformation, how former adherents find new paths of faith or spirituality after leaving authoritarian systems. These themes suggest that while the Duggar name may continue to be a focal point, the real subject of Shiny Happy People remains the systems that shaped and in some cases harmed them. Final thoughts: are the Duggars returning or just being remembered? Whether or not the Duggar family makes a literal return to the spotlight, they remain firmly embedded in American pop culture discourse. Season 2 of Shiny Happy People is poised to further dissect the legacy of a family that once represented traditional values on primetime television and now symbolizes a cautionary tale of unchecked authority, performative virtue, and the costs of public exposure. The second season will not only revisit the Duggar narrative, but also likely push the conversation forward into new territory. It remains to be seen how the family will respond with silence, rebuttal, or further introspection. Either way, Shiny Happy People continues to frame their story as part of a much larger national reckoning with power, media, and belief systems. For longtime viewers, concerned observers, or former fans, Season 2 promises not just more revelations, but a deeper look into what happens after the cameras stop rolling and the truth begins to unfold.